Shalom. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Hashem.
Irish people.
Yahweh Ba'Hashem Kakadash, and I want to say apostles and others, great millstones, salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, I'm Noah Allah from Gemini, Chicago, and I'm just going to do a quick response video to this video that you see here. It says Irishman tries to join Hebrew Israelites. And right here, you got I don't know what this is, but I believe it's ISUPK. All right. But you know this Jake, all right, that looks like an Edomite to the right, all right, with light skin. All right. I'm not sure if he's fooling around, but you know he is definitely right. All right. You know, the Irish are Israelites, right? Because us, you know, the nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, we went off, you know, sinning against the Lord as a nation, all right, and the Lord put these curses upon us, and he scattered us into the four corners of the earth, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, all right, you know, one of the curses, you know, that our people have been, you know, scattered into the four corners of the earth, all right, being mingled with them, with the heathens, all right, and so, you know, our people, you know, our people mingled amongst, you know, with them, you know, our people got with their women, right? So you might have, you know, an Israelite baby coming out looking white as fuck, or looking like an Asian, right? Coming out looking like a Russian or whatever, you name it, all right? But you know, I'm going to show you an example right here. All right, you know, what this Jake to the right was trying to explain.
An Israelite. I just disagree.
You're an Irish Edomites.
I'm definitely not an Edomite.
Definitely are.
I'm definitely not an Edomite. No, I'm an Irish man. I'm an Israelite.
Okay. All right. Well, you can be whatever you want to be in your mind. In your mind, you can be whatever you want to be, but in reality, you're not.
I'm excited to be out here with you guys tonight. I'm very excited.
Yeah, you know, he kind of sounds like an Edomite and whatnot, but you know, it's, you got them Israelites that look white as fuck. You know, some of them be looking like, you know, straight up heathens. You know, straight up white boys. All right. For an example, like me, I know I've never shown myself before, but you know, I look white as fuck. Right. I look like a straight up Edomite. I don't even look like a Nescar at all. But you know, my father, you know, both my parents, all right, they're both Hispanic. Right, but you know, my father, talking about my father from my grandfather from my dad's side, all right, he's an Escarite, and he got with a Spaniard woman, right, a light-skinned Spaniard woman, and so that's why, you know, I came out to be more light-skinned, all right, that's why I came out to be looking like more like a white boy. But really, you know, I'm Jake through the Spirit, right? You know, I'm Jake, you know, because you know that's my bloodline, all right? I'm an Israelite. You know, the same thing that you see, you know, individuals out there that may look like a so-called Edomite or one of these other heathen nations like Asians and you know, you name it, all these other heathen nations. But you know, I'm gonna bring this precept out real quick. All right, well, you know, the Spirit bears witness. They're of us, you know. What the fuck? I swear I just had that written down. Okay, Slovakia. Yeah. Oh, Romans 8:16. All right. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And that's right. You know, the Spirit bear witness that, you know, you may come across to a Jake that looks like a so-called Edom. I mean, it's like that looks like a straight up Edomite, but really, you know, through his forefathers, all right, his seed line, his bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? Jacob. And he has that salt, basically, right? He's able to speak just like us, like a straight up nigga. Has that voice of authority in him, right? You got also singers out there that sound like so-called black people, right? A lot of white singers out there that sound like so-called black, that sound like so-called black people, all right? They look white as fuck, but they can really sing real well, all right? And that's because, he's a Jake. He's an Israelite. A good example is Bobby Caldwell. All right, What Will You Do for Love? You watch the music video, all you see is a guy that looks white, but he sounds black as fuck. He sounds just like a so-called black man. All right, that's because, his forefathers, all right, is a Jake. Right, his bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, meaning that he is an Israelite. Let's go back to the video.
When I first talked to the ISUCI or whatever it is, they talked to me about how Irish people are Israelites as well. They literally checked my birth certificate before I could even buy this.
Who checked your blood? Who checked?
The IUCIC.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what that is.
The Israelite Universal
IUIC.
IUIC.
Oh, they told you was an Israelite.
Yes, I showed them my birth certificate.
Now
I
it all
showed them
makes
photos of
sense.
my great. Then when I talked to Gedai and he told me the history of Israelites, I got out of my mind excited. I said, that's literally the story of my people as well. When I heard the story of being brought over for slavery and being oppressed by imperialist powers, I said, that's the story of Irish people. And I got out of my mind excited because when I learned about the core of what the ISUPK teaches, I've never related more. I said, this is an anti-imperialist, anti-oppression movement. That's kind of it.
But the craziest part about it is the anti-imperialist, anti-oppression movement is against all of the oppressors.
Yes, sir.
And guess what? The thing that happened to you was white-on-white violence.
Unfortunately,
The
true.
thing that happened to us was everybody
Yeah.
against us.
It's the same with the Irish.
It's absolutely not the same. Because white people, the Irish, oppress black people.
And you see here, this member of ISUPK, all right, he judges according to appearance, all right. But here you got the Jake to the right, all right. He believes to the spirit that he is an Israelite. All right, you see, he's getting into it and all that. He's really getting into his true heritage, all right. But when an actual Edomite comes across to this, all right, he'll be they'll know that the word of the Lord is true, and of course he'll get condemned by it. But here, you got a believer right here to the right. He actually believes that he's a Hebrew Israelite, right, through the Spirit, and I believe so too.
The police station, the whole police force, it was started by the Irish. Oh, I know.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. If an Irish person's a police, it's the same thing as another black Israelite.
What I'm saying is, it's a system of oppression that's passed down,
Yes, sir.
and we have never been the oppressors.
Yes, sir.
So that's why we deserve to be the rulers.
There have been people within our groups that have been the oppressors.
Oh, absolutely.
But as Irish
We call
people
those
and
people
Israelites,
sellouts.
exactly.
We call them sellouts.
They're traitors.
White man got his name, got Irish action on the flyer. He said he got that from somebody.
On Congress and 4th.
He trying to rewrite history in our face with our flyers. White man
But we're not going to let that happen.
damn right. So how we gonna do it? We do it like this. We ain't gotta throw it away. We gonna let it blow in the wind.
Yeah, say let go and let God,
I gotta say it.
Irish people, black
Yeah, he of course, he's just goofy as fuck, just goofing around. But yeah, you got Jake out there that they act like that, but totally believe that he is a Jake to the Spirit. So with 3 says, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. That's right. You got Israelites that, have been, of course, Israel has been scattered upon the four corners of the earth, right? All over the place, every country. Right? You got Israelites that look like Russians over there in Russia. You got Israelites that look like, the Irish over there up in Ireland. You got Israelites that look like Filipinos down there in the Philippines, right? You got Israelites that are, over there in China as well. They look like straight up Moabites, all right? And so, our people, according to the scriptures, we are likened unto the Gentiles, all right? Because even until now, all right, majority of our people, all right, they don't know what their true heritage still is, right? They don't know that they're the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So, they have that Gentile mindset, all right? They have, they follow after the heathen customs, all right? They bow down to other gods and like idols and shit like that, all right? Basically being like unto these Gentiles, or these heathen nations, but they're still Israelites, but they're likened unto Gentiles. Isaiah 11:11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand against again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And that's right. Our people have been, scattered upon the four corners of the earth. Right? Real soon, the Lord is going to gather his people up, from these heathens. All right? But, the Lord is only going to restore the remnant, all right, the 144,000 elect men of Israel, and the 1/3 of the Israelites. Jeremiah 12:9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, and the birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Says in NLT, it says, my chosen people act like speckled vultures, but they themselves are surrounded by vultures. Bring on the wild animals to pick their corpses clean. So, the same thing with this one, just showing you that our people, they have a Gentile mindset, right? They fall after, heathenistic customs. And, back in the ancient years, right, our people follow the ways of Hellenism, right? Greek ways, all right, which was bizarre. They did all kinds of weird shit. Zechariah 7:14. But I will scatter them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through, nor returned, for they laid the pleasant land desolate. That's right. Likewise again. All right, Israel has been scattered unto the four corners of the earth. Even amongst these heathen nations. And so our people, got with the woman. Says Judges 7:14, and his fellows And his fellow answered and said, This is nothing else save the sword of, wait a minute. Second. Yeah, not the one I was looking for. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor their fathers have known, even wood and stone. And that's right. Our people follow after, heathenistic ways. Alright? We have been scattered. More examples. Not trying to make this too long, but yeah. Fuck. Probably the last one I bring up. And then I'll close it there. But here is Ezekiel chapter 36 and 19. And I scattered them among the heathen, and when they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings, I judged them. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, These are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of his land. And that name, the inner definition of the word name, goes into, the reputation. All right, and these, our people are basically, messing up the Lord's reputation because they're acting like fools. All right, they're acting just like these heathen nations. They're acting like, sottish children, fools. But I had pity. They say, They said to them, These are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of his land. But I have pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. And how they profaned the Lord's name, they basically took on, the heathenistic customs. They started, taking on, their ways, the Hellenistic ways, right? Praying to other idols and gods that are not even real, right? Verse 22, Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord power, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, saith the Lord power, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the heathen, and gather you out of all countries, and I will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols, and will I cleanse you. And this water, right, is basically going into this word. Right? We're being cleansed by, the washing of this word. Alright, and then now we're coming back to our true power. We're repenting. We're praying to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai. We're getting right with them. Alright. And a whole lot of our people are waking up to the fact that they're Israelites, and they're coming, to this truth. But yeah, the Lord is definitely, the Lord is definitely, sprinkling this clean water, right, giving this word on to the rest of the elect, right? Now you have a lot of people that are starting to wake up to the fact that they are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Well, yeah, with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai, and Shalom.